The man wanted to determine if both his wife and mistress were faithful to him, so he decided to send them on the same cruise, then later question each one on the other's behavior. When his wife returned, he asked her about the people on the trip in general, then casually asked her about the specific behavior of the passenger he knew to be his mistress. She slept with nearly every man on the ship, his wife reported. The disheartened man then met with his cheating mistress to ask her the same questions about his wife. She was a real lady, his mistress said. How so? The encouraged man asked. His mistress replied, she came on board with her husband and never left his side. It was a hot summer day, and John had just finished a long day at work. As he walked up to his front door, he heard strange noises coming from inside. He pushed open the door and saw his wife Mary in bed with another man. John was furious and challenged the other man to an old-fashioned duel with his handguns. Whoever managed to shoot first and kill the other gets his wife. The other man agreed, but John had a secret plan. He suggested they go into another room, so Mary didn't have to see it. Once in the other room, John turned to the other man and said, "Why should either of us have to die? We will both fire a shot into the air and lay on the ground as if we're dead. When she comes in, she will see our lifeless bodies and rush to one of us. Whoever she chooses can have her." The other man agreed again, so they fired into the air and collapsed. The wife threw the door open and peered down at the two men, then backed out of the room and called out, "Darling, you can come out. They are both dead." A young blonde woman had been married for about a year, when one day she came running up to her husband, jumping for joy. Not knowing how to react, the husband started jumping up and down along with her. "Why are we so happy?" he asked. She replied, "Honey, I have some really great news for you." "Great," he said. "Tell me what you're so happy about." She stopped breathless from all the jumping up and down. "I'm pregnant," she gasped. The husband was ecstatic as they had been trying for a while. He grabbed her, kissed her, and started telling her how wonderful it was and that he couldn't be happier. Then she said, "Oh, honey, there's more." "What do you mean more?" he asked. "Well, we're not having just one baby, we are going to have twins." Amazed at how she could know so soon after getting pregnant, he asked her how she knew. "It was easy," she said. "I went to the pharmacy and bought the 2-pack home pregnancy test kit, and both tests came out positive." Two senior gentlemen are working at a sewage treatment plant. One guy goes off to lunch and comes back to find his buddy standing above a vat of sewage with a long rake. "What are you doing?" he yells. "My coat fell in," his buddy yells back. "You're not really going to wear that again, are you?" His friend said worriedly. "No, no." "Gosh, no," says the old man to the relief of his friend. "I have to get it back, though. My teeth are in the pocket." Two gay male lovers are chatting, and Mr. Bob says to Mr. John, "I wish I had chest hair like you." So the next day, Bob visits the doctor and asks for something to grow chest hair. The doctor gives him something and informs him it will work in about 2 months. 2 months later, Bob still has no hair on his chest and back to the doctor he goes. The doctor says, "Rub some Vaseline on your chest and in a week you will be growing hair." Mr. John comes home that day and sees Bob rubbing Vaseline and asks, "Why?" Bob replies, "To grow chest hair." John responds, "If Vaseline made your hair grow, you would have a ponytail coming out of your ass." A man boards a plane with 6 kids. After they get settled in their seats, a woman sitting across the aisle leans over to him and asks, "Are all of those kids yours?" He replies, "No, I work for a condom company." These are customer complaints. 2 bored casino dealers are waiting at the craps table when a very attractive southern blonde woman arrives and bets $20,000 on a single roll of dice. She says, "I hope you don't mind, but I feel much luckier when I play topless." With that, she strips to the waist, rolls the dice, and yells, "Come on, Southern girl needs new clothes." As the dice bounce and come to a stop, she jumps up and down and squeals, "Yes, yes, I won. I won!" She hugs each of the dealers, picks up her winnings and her clothes, then quickly departs. The dealers stare at each other dumbfounded. Finally, one of them asks, "What did she roll?" The other answers, "I don't know. I thought you were watching." A guy walks into a bookstore, not looking for anything in particular. On his way to the back of the store, he spots something of interest. A book with a very interesting title, Dating for the New Millennium: What Women Want. So he picks it up and opens it to a random page. Chapter 1. The First Date. He glances the chapter over for a few minutes and then rushes out of the bookstore to call a girl he's wanted to ask out for quite a while. When he gets home, he picks up the phone and calls her. She answers. "Hello," he says. "Hi, Jessica. Listen, I was wondering if you would want to go see a movie with me tonight." She says, "Sure, I don't see anything wrong with that." He gets excited. He thought she'd say no way, but she didn't. So he decided to take it one step further. He asks, "Great, well, how about dinner before the movie?" She replies, "Sure, that would be great too." "Fine, I'll pick you up about 9. You should be finished eating by then." After a tiring day, a young lady settled down in her local train seat and closed her eyes. As the train rolled out of the station, the guy sitting next to her pulled out his cell phone and started talking in a loud voice. "Hi, sweetheart, it's Rajaram. I'm on the train." "Yes. I know it's 6:30 and not 4:30, but I had a long meeting." "No, honey, I was not with Preeti from the accounts office. I was with the boss attending the meeting." "No, sweetheart, you're the only one in my life." "Yes, I'm sure, dear." 15 minutes later, he was still talking loudly. When the young woman sitting next to him had enough, she leaned over and said into the phone, "Rajaram, darling, hang up the phone and come back to bed." Now, Rajaram is back from hospital and doesn't use his cell phone in public any longer.